I like to start with cow-cat, which involves being on all fours, arms straight and thighs straight, and alternating between flexion and extension of the spine. So this is flexion here, where you're creating a hump. You want to really feel your shoulder blades protracting or moving down towards the ground, and then retraction, shoulder blades come together. Back and forth several times until you feel that your spinal area is warmed up. You can follow this up with something called spinal skipping rope, where in the same position you're taking your spine in an imaginary circle, clockwise and counterclockwise. And again, try to keep your arms and your thighs straight. It's an excellent warm-up for the spine itself and all the surrounding soft tissues. Next, you want to have one knee in front of you with your foot flat on the ground, and whichever leg you're starting with, you want to use the same side arm and take it through slow arm circles going backward and forward. Having the knee up in this way just helps to keep the arm circle more true, where your trunk is not rotating too much to help you out. Take it nice and slow. And then do the other side. So have the other leg out in front and do arm circles on that side, backward and forward. Next, I like to take a resistance band or an elastic band and hold it straight out in front of me and do shoulder dislocates where my arms are straight. You can do this in a kneeling position, or if it's more comfortable, you can do it standing. Or if you're working on lower body strength and flexibility, you can do it in horse stance. Or if you're working on a hip stretch as well, you can do it while you're seated, cross-legged. Just be sure to keep your core activated and your spine straight as you do all of these. Next, inverted cat pose. You'll need to anchor your arms off of an object a little bit higher than you while you're kneeling down here. And you're pushing your head and your upper body down toward the ground to induce flexion in your shoulders and extension through your spine. And when you feel comfortable with this, you can start with your arms higher up. You can hold this stretch for a while, or you can do pulses. Just be sure to try to feel like your armpits are becoming big or opening up. The opposite would be the inverted cat stretch, where you're on a ball and you let your pelvis droop over the edge of the ball, and you actively push your pelvis down over the side of the ball to induce the same range of motion, so shoulder flexion and spinal extension. Your hands are secured above and below you in that position. This is the same thing as the inverted cat stretch, but using an exercise ball to induce more activity within all of the small stabilizing muscles. And I'm actually pushing down on the ball with my hands to bring my upper body and head up. And after I push up for about 10 to 20 seconds, I get in a prone position. And one arm at a time, I actively try to induce shoulder flexion. So in going from pushing down on the ball to actively trying to induce shoulder flexion, it's that mechanism we've discussed in previous videos of proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, PNF. It's an effective way to induce more range of motion and flexibility. So once again, getting down an inverted cat stretch and really pushing my upper body actively toward the ground, and then pushing down on the ball with my hands to raise my body up, and then to get back into doing active shoulder flexion while prone. You can do this without the ball as well. You can just do it straight on the ground. I'm trying to keep my scapulae retracted, so pulled in toward one another, while I'm trying to isolate the flexion in my shoulders. And then one more time, inverted cat stretch. And in this position, you can actually roll the ball a little bit side to side, or you can do shoulder pulses, tiny little pulses to induce more flexion. It's an excellent stretch to improve range of motion of the shoulders and the thoracic spine. And then you can always push back up. And after you've pushed up, you can get back and do the active shoulder flexion exercise.